Hey y'all, good morning. It's Sunday morning, it's May 1st. There are so many cool things happening in the garden. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I just love to get to share this stuff with y'all. I'm on the Gulf Coast. My name's Rachel. I'm in zone 9A and I butterfly garden and I raise butterflies. And I'm super excited to show y'all today that we have, I found a caterpillar on my fennel and I'm going to be raising it. There was only one. I'm going to show y'all a little bit of damage from the armadillos, unfortunately, and what I'm kind of doing to mitigate that. And then also I'm going to show y'all I have found that I've got army worms and I'm going to need to do something about them also. And I'm just going to show y'all around the garden. And I went and got some native plants from Cornucopia Nursery, and I've planted some of them, and some of them I'm going to put in some pots. So let's come along and see what's going on. I'm so thankful that the gentle Hermione roses held on so I could show them to y'all, because they are just so lovely. And you know, they're falling over and the petals are going into this bird bath, and it's just so kind of poetic and lovely. And let me show you this, and the scent of them is just incredible. It's gentle Hermione. I love pairing them with the Salvia. It's just so gorgeous. And then I have Desdemona over here. Desdemona kind of popped earlier this week, but just look at that spray. It's so beautiful. I can hardly stand it. So, and the Cecile Brunner is just going crazy. It's taller than the house. You can't tell, but I have got to trim that back. And when I do, I am going to try to root some of those cuttings and see if maybe I can make more of them, because it would be, even though it grows crazy, I mean, it's just, look at that. I would love to have that growing all along my fence line if it would do it. And I would have to be determined to trim it back on the regular, probably like once a month, maybe 2 months. The Salvia right here is about to just grow over this walkway, and I'm not going to be able to come through here anymore. Ooh, I can hardly get through. I don't know if you can hear the bees buzzing, but they love that Salvia. So I've done a little kind of new thing in the circle garden here, because that armadillo, I did have a theory, you know, that the armadillo didn't want to dig up lemon balm, and this circle garden was mostly filled with lemon balm, except for just a few, you know, flowers that had come back from last year. And I think, and then he kind of came and dug in the lemon balm, and I was like, well, you know what, if he's going to even do that, then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to plant what I want. Well, that was a mistake, because he has just been in a frenzy in this garden. I mean, in an absolute frenzy. I'm going to show you right here. He came last night and just dug that up. That's just what he does. He digs up under the flowers and just throws them to the side. And so I've been in kind of rescue mode here with these plants in the center. The ones that he's dug up and thrown aside, I've started putting in pots. And I was in the middle of doing that yesterday when I had to stop and go take a shower and go to a wedding. And then I came back this morning and saw I was about to rescue this Penta, and he had done it to this Penta. You can see, ta-da! And that's the pot that I'm going to put it in. So right now I'm just going to start digging things up and putting them in pots. And you know, there's a pro and con to putting plants in pots, because pro, you can move them around. I mean, that's pretty cool. You can rearrange your garden as much as you want, and that's actually pretty fun. The thing about being down here is they do require watering very much more often than just plants in the ground. I mean, they do. You've got to, especially in the hot summer, you got to water them like every day, so you've got to be committed to that. But another thing is that's fun about planting in pots is you can make each pot kind of a miniature garden. And you know, the classic filler, thriller, spiller, you know, that's fun. So I did do that with a couple of pots with some things that I bought that I'm going to tell you about later. And I've done a kind of thing where we got a contest going, my husband and I. So I'm using Miracle Grow, and I have in one pot, and then in the other pot I'm using Fox Farm like organic potting soil. So this is the Miracle Grow one, and it's got, you know, my favorite Nymph coral, Salvia on either side. I found those, and then behind that is Denim and Lace, Russian Sage. I can't wait until it blooms. Y'all are gonna think it's gorgeous. And then at the base I've got Creeping Thyme, and with the pink. So I did the exact same thing here. This is the Miracle Grow one, and then I did the exact same thing in this pot right here, and this is the Fox Farm one, and it's also got, and let me see if you can see this Denim and Lace. When it blooms all together, it is just phenomenal, and I love the scent of it. I love the shape of the leaves and the coloring, and I've had it before. I've tried to grow it from seed. Can't grow it from seed, but I'm really thrilled with it. They had like 6 of them at Cornucopia, and when I was over there and I saw them, I just went, oh, and everybody there was just like, oh, we got to get some of that. So I doubt if there's any left, because I got 2 and a lady that was there with me got 2, and they're probably gone, but you can call and find out if they've ordered more, if they're getting more. So I can't wait to see what happens between these 2 pots, because it's going to be thrilling to see which one, because for a few years I would only use Fox Farm. It was organic. I was super organic. I kind of got away from that a little bit because just frustration. And it doesn't mean that organic doesn't work. It's just that I didn't have time, and I had too much on my plate, and I just couldn't handle it all, so something had to go by the wayside. So I'm just going to show y'all over here. This is one of the plants that I'm about to rescue. This is the Sun Patient. You can see it's been dug. Everything's been dug up under. This one, it needs space anyway, so I'm going to put it in this little pot and find another place for it. Things have gotten a little bit out of control. It's only May 1st, and you can see I have never grown Agastache this successfully. I mean, it is so tall and so bushy. Last year, what I had in this bed right here, everything was kind of it had a little bit more manners to it. It grew only about 2.5 feet tall, and everything was kind of low. Well, this is, you know, I can't even see through it, so it's kind of a mess. But I love it when these start blooming, because let me tell you, everything loves, oh, let me get in closer on this one so you can see it. Everyone loves Agastache, like everyone. The bees love it. The butterflies love it. I'm trying to think if I've seen hummingbirds drinking from it. They may. I can't recall. But last night I came home, I had some cayenne pepper, and I came out here and I dumped this around this rose bush, because this is the place where that armadillo has really been digging in. It may have been too late. I don't know. We're going to see. I put some more over in the other side of the garden. But look at that. So the dead plum tree is going to turn into my trellis for all these different flowering things. That's Grandpa Ott Morning Glory. I love it. My mom says that she hates Morning Glory because they're too successful. They grow everywhere, and she's got to rip them out in her yard. But I still love them. They haven't worn me out yet. I mean, I do pull the seedlings. And I have more of those in the front yard than back here, but I really enjoy it. And I gotta tell y'all something, I may have made a mistake. Okay, so see this, I thought this was black and blue salvia, this giant thing right here, and then this giant one right here. I grew these, I planted these last year, and they just grew all winter long. It's funny, when I first planted them, I did the same thing that I tend to do. I had gone to the nursery and I bought a bunch of plants, and I didn't have time to plant them right then, and a week went by before I could plant anything in the ground, and they looked so sad and pathetic, and I did not expect them to even live. So, and I didn't expect them to get big either, because it doesn't make any sense to put something this giant on the front of the bed. But that's what I did. And then they just grew all winter long. They never lost their leaves, even through multiple frosts and a couple of freezes. And I don't know if they're black and blue salvia, because that's what I said they were. And I'm going to tell you why. Because over here by the air conditioner, I went to Cornucopia, or it may have been Streets in Fairhope, and I bought some more black and blue salvia, and I've planted them several places, but I saw this one is blooming today. And do you see this? Do you see how blue that is? And do you see these leaves? These leaves look like that, what I'm calling black and blue salvia. So I'm going to come and show you the difference between this one, which I know for a fact is black and blue salvia, and then this one I rooted from a cutting from those two giant salvias. Look at the difference in the color. Like, these are not the same plant. So I'm sorry, I think I have told y'all wrong, because one of these is very purple that I've been calling black and blue salvia, and this is actually, ooh, can I hold it still? Blue and purple. So y'all, please forgive me. I don't know what that is. If somebody knows, do tell, because I'm having a trouble with keeping the salvia straight. So I really do have my work cut out for me this week, because I'm going to be on a rescue mission with most of these little plants that are getting just torn up by their roots. It's pretty heartbreaking, but on the other hand, there are some great benefits to having plants in pots, and there are some benefits to having pots that are in like light plastic. Like, I have several different kinds, of course, and I bought a lot of these at just bargain basement prices about 3 or 4 years ago. Ross, that place that's called Ross Dress for Less, the one that has actual clothes, they were selling these pots, and they must have gotten like a huge, like, maybe they were damaged. They look fine to me. They've worked all this time, and they were selling pots like this size for like $10. This is huge. And so I went to every Ross in Birmingham and in Baldwin County, and when I went to visit my sister in Georgia and in Florida, and I went to every Ross store, and I got all their blue pots, and I even gave some away. So this isn't even all the ones that they had for sale. But so these pots, they're very heavy. They're heavy when you water them in, and but they last, you know, and you don't have to worry about them tipping over. So that's good also. There are benefits to that, and probably, maybe, I'm just saying this, they probably don't dry out as quickly as a plastic pot. And the plastic pots, super easy to pick up, super easy to move. This one's easy to tip though, and so is this new one that I bought at Walmart, which I'll show you about that when I show you the plants that I bought. Those are easy to tip over, and so I'm gonna have to like shove those up against some other ones to keep them from falling over. So I'm trying to think of the positives of having things in pots, and there are a lot, but there are also some really great benefits to being able to grow things in the ground. So we're working on trying to mitigate the because it's boring to keep talking about this armadillo. I mean, I'm sick of it. You see right there? I'm gonna have to save this. This is wild Petunia, and look, it's just been dug out from the roots. So that's got to be saved, put into a pot. Probably this Gara right here is going to need to be saved. Thankfully, it didn't do anything to this Verbena bonariensis, not yet. But I have a lot of seedlings that I had tried to grow, and he just likes to just toss those to the side. I mean, it's almost like he's toying with me. I I feel very violated by this armadillo, and trying to have a good attitude. But I can admit to y'all that yes, I have cried about this armadillo. I mean, he has made me cry. But you know what? He's not going to beat me. I'm not going to let him. We're going to fight it. So let me show y'all the rest of the stuff from... Y'all, I've got super exciting news. I went to Cornucopia Gardens. It's in Fairhope, Alabama, and they are starting to sell native plants. And I got some that I've been wanting to have for a long, long time. And I thought I was going to have to drive all the way to Tampa to buy them. But I bought them today, and I'm going to tell you all about them. I've got several kind of projects going on because several things have been happening. That armadillo has just been tearing the garden up. I mean, just oh, horrible. So I'm going to have to save some of my plants that I had originally planted in the ground. I'm going to have to put them in pots. So, and another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I was going to get cayenne pepper, but they didn't have any. So I'm going to get this crushed red pepper. I'm going to grind it up and I'm going to sprinkle it around. And you know, I mean, it may just make the armadillo have a terrible sneezing fit. That might be the most it does. Or maybe the least it does. I don't know. But I'm hoping that it will drive him away and that he will not want to come back here and have his snout burned anymore. But I'm going to try that because that repels all. It did not work. It didn't work at all. I mean, the armadillo laughed at it. But so I got these pots. I got them at Walmart. And for $10, they're 16-inch pots, and I think they're really pretty. They're going to go with my other pots. They're plastic, and there's a little plug in there that you can take out to let it drain. So some of my pots, and I've got a ton of pots because I used to only grow things in containers because the armadillos were so bad. I don't know what I thought was going to happen when I started this garden back in the backyard. I guess I thought that the fence was going to take care of it, but of course the holes in the fence are too big. And anyway, so those are two things that I'm going to do. Another thing that I'm going to do is, now that I'm going to have pots again, I'm going to try different soils and let them duke it out. Apparently I like to let a lot of things duke it out. But I'm going to see what the difference is between these different mixes. Now, I used to use Fox Farm several years ago, and my husband got this for me at the Alberta Co-op, and I like it. I don't know if it does any better than any of the other ones, so we're going to try this Fox Farm potting soil, and then this new stuff that I found at Walmart. It's called Pro Mix, and it says it's got a moisture potting mix, and what I like about it is it's compressed and it's easy to carry in this bag. Also, you know, they got me at Pro, so I was like, oh, you know, Pro, that's how they get you. When they say Pro, you're like, And it was only like $12 and something cents, and it's super heavy, and there's a lot in it, but it was super easy to pick up and carry because this potting mix right here, this is Miracle Grow. The bag is huge, and sometimes I'm tired, and I don't want to have to pick, and they're usually wet, and because they're out in the rain, and they're heavy, and they're just clunky. So you know what, if this Pro Mix stuff works, I am going to probably not ever buy anything else. But so I've got high hopes for it. I will let y'all know. But what I'm going to do for all of them is, when I plant my plants in them, I'm going to use this Osmocote Plus. Casey Lawrence from the Lawrence Farm and Garden, she recommends that, and I've been using it, and it seems to really, really work. I have another mix that I use, but you know what, I want them to all have the exact same amount, because I'm going to have the same kind of plants in a couple of pots, so I can monitor the growth of each one of them, so I can kind of tell which potting soil is really working. So it's going to be kind of like a little bit of a competition. Hopefully I'll get a marker, and I'll make sure that I know which one is which. I'm not going to try to remember, because I know I won't. But I got these new plants, and I want to tell you about them. So I have some of this growing in my front yard, but it's red. And isn't this cute? Isn't it just the cutest? I'm looking forward to seeing hummingbirds loving this. I'm thinking they're going to, and I don't know the name of it, so let's tell you what it is. It is Sulphuria Yellow. Let's see, Lanacera hecarati. Isn't that fun? I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's what we have. As I think it's called coral honeysuckle, but this is the other one. And then I've got this interesting plant, and look, it's already got a I wonder what that wasp is doing. But this is super cool because this is what black eastern swallowtails use as a larval host plant. Golden Alexander, Zizia aurea. So out in the wild, you know, nobody's planting dill and fennel and carrots for them out in the wild. But in Florida and down here, this is what they will use for a larval host plant in the wild. So I'm super excited. And it even looks like, you know, kind of like dill. And so yeah, we're gonna have black eastern swallowtails on that. And then this is something really, really pretty. I don't know if I've ever seen it before, but don't you love this the stem on it? It's kind of a purpley, kind of fuzzy. Let's see if I can zoom in on it. It's gonna have yellow flowers, and it is a coneflower. Rudbeckia laciniata cut leaf coneflower. It's gonna be yellow. So y'all, I'm about to add a lot of yellow to the garden. These little bratty yellows are gonna really just make things pop. So, and here, this is exciting too, because this is, I've wanted some goldenrod for a while. This is goldenrod, Saladigo rugosa fireworks. And it's called fireworks because the blooms are so huge and they just pop out. So, and I think it's gonna grow pretty big. We'll see. This is Liatris. Now this is not a native Liatris. This is kind of, I don't think it is. It says gay feather, kobold, perennial. I don't think, that doesn't look, but it could be. But this is gonna be purple. I hope you can see right here from the tag that that's what it's gonna look like. So I hope that we can manage to let that grow up and bloom, because that's going to be exciting. Here's something that I've wanted for a really long time. I bought some a long time ago. I made the mistake of planting it out by the mailbox, and then I didn't water it enough, I don't think. But this is Russian sage. Right here it's called Denim and Lace. And let's see what the actual name is. Parocosia. Well, you know, you can see that. Maybe you can read it. But it's made by Proven Winners, and I got 2 of them, and I love the smell of them. And I got these, all of these plants except for a few over here. I got them at the cornucopia. And then this is that lavender that I have from last year that's kind of growing under the black and blue salvia. And it's like the only lavender that I've been able to grow for that long of a period of time, so I'm super excited about it. It's called Goodwin Creek Lavender, and I love the color of it and the feel of it. It's just silvery and it's soft and it smells really interesting, and I love that. So that's exciting. So purple. This also is going to be purple. Now this is ironweed, and it's going to grow pretty tall. Veronia augustifolia ironweed. It is a native plant. Butterflies love it. I've wanted some. I've tried to grow some from seed and have failed miserably. So this is going to be awesome. So I got some of this basil, Aristotle herb basil. I love basil, and this looks like it's got kind of like a little mounding form to it. I've never grown it, so I don't know what it's going to do, but it smells incredible, and it's just so cute. I got 2 of them, so that's exciting. And then here's something I've dreamed about having all my, well, okay, not all my life, ever since I watched A Room with a View, which I don't know, that came out in the late 80s. So in A Room with a View, there's a library book, and it's face down on this big stone kind of terrace, and in the cracks there's creeping thyme growing, and it's lovely. And ever since I saw that, I wanted that. So it's taken about 35 years, but look, here we are. And I got to plant it somewhere where that that armadillo can't dig it up, or I will be livid. But here's something neat too. Now, if y'all watch Wild Floridian, I think she got some of these, and she is so much fun. If y'all haven't seen her, y'all should watch her, because she's got some great stuff, and she's doing really good things with native plants. But Wild Floridian has this in her garden, and isn't it just cute? Look at the little yellow eyes. It's called, well, let's get down here and see it. It's called Grass Suwannee blue-eyed grass. And it's so thick in this pot right here that I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut it in half, because it's just like, oh, it's really tight in there. And I think these are like individual kind of little plant things. I don't think that's like a solid thing. It's just, it's grass. So I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to have half of it in one pot and half of it in another. I love the sweet, sweet flowers. And of course, this, I went back to, oh, now I can't think. Streets. Oh yeah, Streets in Fairhope, and got some more of this Nymph coral salvia because I love it so much. And you know, these little brown things, there are seeds in that. So what I'm doing is I've been getting the seeds off and just kind of spreading it around. I need to save some, but I have thrown them out where but don't you love the delicate color of them? I'm going to show you how my other ones are doing right now. This is that Nymph coral salvia, and I really packed these into these pots. I've got like 4 in this one pot here, and I've got 2 in this pot and 2 over here, and then I've got these kind of coral colored vinca on either side, because I was really hoping to have it just fill in and be awesome. And if it starts to look like it's a little too crowded, well, I'll just go in there and separate them out and stick them in some more pots. But they have been so fun, and they've got such, I'm going to zoom in so you can see how delicate the color is. Isn't that lovely? I mean, it's just so sweet and fun and pretty, and everybody likes it, and I love it. I noticed some damage on my petunias. There were like holes in the leaves and in the flowers, and then I found this caterpillar on it, and this is not good. This is an armyworm caterpillar, and they're terrible. And I'm going to go around looking for them and killing them, because you do not want these in your yard. They will just eat everything. I'm going to kill these, and I don't like to spray poison, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that Blue Dawn dish detergent and put a few drops in a spray bottle with some water, and I'm going to spray the plants down, and I think that will kill the eggs and the caterpillars, but I'm going to do some more research on that. So yes, a few drops of Dawn dish soap in a spray bottle with water, spray it on your plants, it will kill them. I want to show you what armyworm damage looks like. So this is some damage to lemon balm. Now the reason why I'm saying this is armyworm damage is because I found some armyworm caterpillars earlier this week. And last year my plants were attacked by something, I didn't even know what it was. It took me a while to figure it out. And I can't find the thing, but you would find, you know, damage to leaves, and then you would look under it, and these little strings would hang off, and these tiny, tiny little caterpillars would just kind of hang from strings, and they would fall down to the ground. And I found one of the caterpillars, and it is actually a gorgeous caterpillar. And I raised it on coleus leaves, because that's what I found it on, and it really loved it. I raised it because I wanted to see what it was going to turn out to be. And it did. It turned out to be a moth. That's what armyworm caterpillars turn into, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was a moth. And I let it die in the cage. I didn't let it escape. But you know what? They must really you know, come in full force, like maybe in May, because I had a lot of damage to my coleus. Now what was interesting though is the plants that were damaged, they didn't die. They looked like they would, like this coleus. They looked like they had window panes. I mean, there was just so many holes in them. And after I went and I would smush some of them with my fingers, but it's really hard to combat armyworms with just smushing them. Oh, here, I'll show you some more damage. from if you see something like this, because they have really attacked these. You can see down here there's might be some little poop, evidence of poop. It's not just dirt out here, it's like poop, and they've just eaten it down, and ugh, gross. But there are two things that you can do to get rid of them, and they're both organic, and I'm going to show you. And I did it a few times. I didn't do it a lot, but I'm going to show you what I used. So when I'm in a hurry and I don't want to take time measuring and I don't want to do anything that's scary, I'll just take a spray bottle like this and I'll put just a drop or two, literally a drop or two of blue dish detergent. It's got to be Dawn, the original blue dish detergent, and I will spray that like directly onto the plants, and that will kill, it will kill them. But it just takes a lot of effort because this bottle is small and it doesn't last very much. So there is that one. And then here, I used this also last year. This is organic, and it's Monterey Garden Insect Spray, and it will take care of, you know, anything that is, you can see right here, feeding worms, is it thrips, leaf miners, and other listed pests. So that, to me, it's a little more scary because you got to mix it up and do it just right, and you know, it's just so official. So this Dawn detergent, I like it because it's just in a pinch, you know, you can get it. And I don't spray, you know, my larval host plants at all. You know, whatever wants to eat them, I let them eat it because, of course, I want butterflies. But it doesn't seem like the army worms really even bothered those, which is funny. So those are two of my fixes for army worms. Look, y'all, I just spotted my first eastern black swallowtail caterpillar. It's on the fennel, and my question is, were there more and this is the last one? I don't know. And so I'm gonna keep looking and see if I can find more. I bet I'm gonna bring them inside and save them because I'm so excited to have them. Yay! All right, y'all, so I've gone and checked my dill, my fennel, my parsley. This is the only caterpillar that I have, so I guess all the other ones have been eaten up. And so I'm going to bring this one in and raise it so y'all can see what it's going to look like. So see that little dot in the middle? That makes it look kind of like bird poop. It really helps protect it against birds, but of course not wasps, I'm sure. So I can't wait to show y'all how this is going to grow up. I want to show you what I've done so I can keep this caterpillar happy and disturb him as little as possible. So I picked off the the fennel that he was on, and I brought it in, and I have put it in filtered water, and I've taped it in here so it's like upright and it's getting the water. It'll keep it fresh, and whenever he eats this and needs more, I'll be able to cut more of it and just kind of stick it in this little space here and there. And I taped it mostly where he can't fall in and drown, but there's as little disturbance to him as possible, and I'll be able to keep him in and watch him, and y'all will be able to see him grow up. And I'm going to put him in one of my containers, but I've got to clean it out because there's something interesting in my container. But this is an eastern black swallowtail caterpillar. This is what is in that container that I have to clean out so that I can now raise my eastern black swallowtail caterpillars. And this is gross because this was from way back in January, and these are chrysalises. These are Monarch Chrysalises. Let me zoom in closer so you can see that they have had parasites in them, and it was parasites, it was tachinid fly parasites. And how I know is because right here I have what came out of them. The brown pellets are, I guess, what you would call you know what, I know it's not larva, it's the other one, whatever it is. The brown pellets, that's what comes out of the chrysalis, and then the flies, tachinid flies, come out of these brown pellets. And I just left them in the container to die because I didn't want them to be hanging around the garden and becoming parasites to my next set of monarch butterflies. But now I feel kind of bad because I've just discovered that these are actually beneficial. They do pollinate flowers, and also they are a beneficial control of other kinds of bugs, like biological control. So they actually do a good job in the garden, and you know, they couldn't help it that they happen to destroy all my hopes and dreams with these monarchs. So it was probably a good thing. I'm just going to let God sort it out. You know, he's the one that knows how many butterflies we need and how many techinid flies we need. So next time I'm just going to let him duke it out. Now that I've cleaned it out, I just realized I still have a chrysalis from last year, and you know what? It will probably emerge soon. This is an eastern black swallowtail butterfly chrysalis, and you can end up having to babysit these things for a year or more, because sometimes they'll emerge after 2 weeks of turning into a chrysalis, and sometimes they will decide that they want to sleep for an extra year. So just know that when you bring them in, that you may end up having to babysit them for a really long time. All right, now it's guaranteed we're going to at least have one butterfly, one eastern black swallowtail butterfly. I remembered what it was. I found this on my coleus, this moth. And doesn't the pattern on its back kind of remind you of like the phases of the moon somehow? It's just so intricate and different. I'm going to keep it in a container and feed it more of this and see what happens, because it's pretty big. It'll probably turn into, I'm guessing it's a moth, probably turn into a cocoon or spin a cocoon soon, and I'll let y'all know what it turns out to be. Thank y'all so much for joining me in my garden this week. I really enjoy hearing about what y'all are doing in yours. It's so much fun. I feel like we've got like a garden club going. So y'all have a great week, and let me know what's happening in your gardens. Thanks. Bye.